A 2-year-old child looks directly at his mother and says, "Mommy, when I was Pam, I was a woman. I had black hair and I was tall." Elena Reynolds freezes. Her son Noah is a white, blonde, blue-eyed child. How could he talk about being a woman? How could he even know what it means to be a woman at 2 years old? This was just the beginning of a story that would challenge everything the Reynolds family believed about life and death, a story that would transform an ordinary Ohio family into the protagonists of one of America's most shocking and well-documented reincarnation cases. Noah continued, "I lived in a big city with tall buildings. I died in a fire. I had to jump out of a window." Elena felt a chill down her spine. Her young son was describing a violent death in detail no 2-year-old should know. How did he know about jumping out of windows? How did he know the concept of death by fire? "Noah, you didn't die," Elena tried to reassure him. "You're here with me. You're tiny." But Noah insisted, with frightening seriousness, "No, Mom. Before I was Noah, I was Pam. I was a big woman, and I died in the fire." Elena's husband, Marcus, initially thought it was just a child's imagination. "Kids make up a lot of things," he would say. But as Noah grew older, the details became more specific, more disturbing. He wasn't making up random stories. He was recounting consistent, detailed memories of a life he had never lived. Noah began drawing female figures with dark hair. When asked who it was, he would reply, "That's me when I was Pam." He drew tall buildings, fire, people jumping out of windows, disturbing drawings for such a young child. But the most shocking was yet to come. Noah was about to reveal details that would change the family's lives. Forever details that would force them to question everything they knew about reincarnation, the afterlife, and the mysteries of human consciousness. One morning in April 2015, while having coffee, Noah, then 2.5, made a statement that chilled Elena's blood. "Mommy, I know how I died. The fire was coming up the stairs and I couldn't get down. So I jumped out the window and hurt myself badly." Elena nearly dropped her cup. How could a child who could barely form complete sentences describe such a detailed sequence of traumatic events? Noah had never seen movies about fires. The family carefully guarded what he saw on TV. "Noah, where did you see that?" she asked, trembling. "I didn't see it, Mommy. I was there. It was me. I was Pam, and I lived in a city with lots of cars and tall buildings." Marcus, who had been listening, approached with concern. "Son, you've never been to a big city. We've lived here in Ohio all our lives." But Noah shook his head with conviction. "No, Daddy. When I was Pam, I lived far from here. There was so much black smoke. People were screaming. I had to jump because the fire was going to get me." The details were too specific for a small child's imagination. Noah began to talk about his memories of being a woman with disturbing ease. "I wore high heels," he said jokingly. "My hair was long and dark. I was quite tall." When Elena asked how he knew the difference between being a man and a woman, Noah simply replied, "I remember how different it was." Most strikingly, Noah, a white child with blonde hair, insisted that when he was Pam, he had dark skin and black hair. "I wasn't the same as now," he explained seriously. "My color was different, my hair was different, everything was different." Elena decided to test her son. She showed him pictures of different hair types and asked which one resembled Pam's. Noah immediately pointed to a picture of an African-American woman with dark, curly hair. It was just like that. He squealed excitedly. With each passing day, Noah revealed new details about his supposed past life. He talked about working in a crowded place, about having different friends, about living near a noisy street. But nothing prepared the family for what Noah was about to reveal. One night before bed, Noah looked directly at Elena and said, "Mommy, I know my full name from when I was a woman. My name was Pamela." He said it with the same casualness as someone talking about breakfast, Pamela Robinson. Elena felt her world spin. Her 2.5-year-old son had just given a full, specific name from a supposed past life. It wasn't Pam anymore. It was Pamela Robinson. "Noah, where did you hear that name?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I didn't hear it, Mommy. It was my name when I was a grown woman." The simplicity of the answer was more disturbing than the revelation itself. Noah spoke about Pamela Robinson as if it were the most normal thing in the world. That night, after putting Noah to bed, Elena and Marcus stayed up late talking. "Where does a 2-year-old get a full name like that?" Elena asked. "And it's not just any name. Pamela Robinson sounds like a real person's name." He must have heard it somewhere. Marcus tried to rationalize TV, a conversation overheard, but deep down he was disturbed. Noah stayed home with his mother, had limited television exposure, and had never shown interest in adult names. Noah began talking about Pamela as if she were a close family member. "Pamela liked to wear pretty dresses," he said while playing with his toy cars. Pamela had friends who worked with her. When asked where Pamela worked, Noah would reply, "In a big place with lots of tables and people." The most shocking thing was how Noah described the physical differences. He would look in the mirror and say, "When I was Pamela, I looked like this," and gesture to a taller person. "My skin was brown, not pink like it is now. My hair was black and curly, not straight like this." For a 2-year-old, understanding concepts like racial differences and specific physical characteristics was extraordinary. Noah hadn't been exposed to discussions about race or ethnicity, yet he described the characteristics of an African American woman with striking accuracy. "Pamela died in the fire," Noah repeated often. "She was in a tall building and the fire traveled up the stairs. Many people died with her. It was very sad." The description was always consistent, always harrowing. Elena began writing down everything Noah said about Pamela. The physical descriptions, the details about her death in a fire, the references to a big city with tall buildings. Her intuition grew that these were not childish fantasies. One afternoon, Noah said casually while playing with building blocks, "Pamela lived in Chicago." Elena nearly fell out of her chair. Chicago. Noah had never been to Chicago. The family had never even mentioned it to him. How could a child from Ohio specify a city so far away? "Noah, what is Chicago?" Elena asked, testing him. "It's a big city with tall buildings that touch the sky," he answered without hesitation. "Pamela lived there. She died there in the big fire." Marcus received a frantic call from Elena. He said, "Chicago, Marcus, Chicago. Where does a 2-year-old get Chicago from, and why that specific city?" Noah began describing Chicago with impressive detail for his age. "There were so many cars making noise. The buildings were so tall I had to crane my neck to see the top. Pamela worked in one of those tall buildings." When Elena asked how he knew that, Noah replied, "I remember, Mom. I was there." His obsession with tall buildings intensified. He constantly drew skyscrapers with little people in the windows and fire at the bottom. "This is where Pamela died," he would say, pointing to one of his drawings. Elena decided to test him with images. She showed photos of different American cities online: New York, Los Angeles, Miami. When Noah saw a photo of the Chicago skyline, he shouted, "That's it. That's where Pamela lived." He recognized the city instantly. "Noah, how did Pamela die in Chicago?" Elena asked, dreading the answer. "There was a huge fire in a tall building," he explained seriously. "Many people were trapped inside. Pamela was upstairs. The fire was rising, and she couldn't get down." Noah gestured with his tiny hands, showing how Pamela had jumped from the window. She looked down, and it was very high, but the fire was getting too close. Then she closed her eyes and jumped. "How many people died with Pamela?" Elena asked. Noah became thoughtful, counting on his fingers. "Many, many people, more than I can count." Then he added something that chilled Elena's blood. "It was in a hotel. Mommy, a big hotel in Chicago." That night, after putting Noah to bed, Elena sat at the computer with shaking hands and typed, "Chicago Hotel Firewoman Jumped Window." What appeared on the screen left her breathless. The Paxton Hotel, Chicago, March 19, 1993, 19 dead. The fire started on the 3rd floor and quickly spread to the upper floors, forcing guests to jump from windows to escape the flames. Every line echoed Noah's account. Then she found it. Among the victims was 30-year-old Pamela Robinson, who died after jumping from a fifth-story window. Elena screamed for Marcus so loudly he came running. Pamela Robinson existed, she said, pointing at the screen with trembling hands. She died at the Paxton Hotel in Chicago, exactly as Noah said. Marcus read the article in growing silence. "This is impossible," he muttered. How could Noah know about a woman who died before he was born, her name, the city, how she died? They kept researching. The fire had started due to electrical problems. Guests woke to thick smoke. Many were forced to jump because the stairwells were blocked by flames. Every detail matched Noah's statements. Elena found a photo of Pamela Robinson in an obituary, a tall African-American woman with dark curly hair, exactly as Noah had described. The next morning, Elena said to Noah, sitting beside him on the couch, "I want to show you something. It's about Pamela." Noah, suddenly serious, looked up. "What about Pamela, Mommy?" Elena showed him the obituary photo on a tablet. "Noah, do you know this woman?" His reaction was instantaneous. His eyes widened. He pointed to the screen and shouted, "It's Pamela." "Yes, she's me." He touched the screen with his tiny fingers. "Mommy, where did you find Pamela's photo?" "Noah, are you sure it's her?" He nodded vigorously. "Yes, look at her hair, just like I said. And she's tall, like I said." Marcus, who had begun filming Noah's statements to document them, asked, "Son, how did you know Pamela looked like that?" "I remember, Dad. I'd look in the mirror and see that face." Noah added more details while looking at the photo. "She liked to wear red lipstick. She had a friend who worked with her named," he paused, concentrating, "Janet. Yes, Janet, they were friends." Elena wrote feverishly. Then Noah added something new. Pamela was visiting Chicago when the fire happened. She didn't live there. She was at the hotel for work. That afternoon, while Noah played, Elena called a library in Chicago. "Do you have any information about the victims of the 1993 Paxton Hotel fire?" After several transfers, a librarian checked historical archives. Pamela Robinson, 30, from Detroit, in Chicago for a work marketing firm. Elena nearly dropped the phone. Noah had been right again. The librarian mentioned Pamela had been staying on the 5th floor and was found on the sidewalk. Apparently, she jumped trying to escape the fire. When Elena told Marcus, they sat in silence. The evidence was becoming impossible to deny. Pamela had a family who were very sad when she died. Noah said out of the blue a few days later while drawing, "She had a mother who cried a lot." "Noah, how do you know about Pamela's family?" Elena asked. "I remember. Pamela's mom would call her on the phone. She had a sweet voice and always asked if Pamela was eating properly." Noah drew two female figures, one larger and one smaller. "This is Pamela's mother. And this is me when I was Pamela. They loved each other very much." "Did Pamela have any siblings?" Marcus asked. "Yes, a younger sister who always wanted to borrow things," Noah said, laughing softly as if remembering. "She'd take Pamela's clothes without asking." "What else do you remember about Pamela's family?" Elena asked. "Her mother always baked a delicious cake when Pamela visited and always asked when Pamela was getting married." Noah paused. "Pamela wanted to get married, but she hadn't found the right person yet." Noah began describing Pamela's work in impressive detail. She worked at a large desk in a room with many other desks. She had a big computer, not like ours that's thin. He was describing a 1990s computer, something a child in 2015 wouldn't know. Pamela liked her work. She did advertising for companies. She was good at it. Her boss always said she was smart. At the hotel in Chicago, on the day of the tragedy, Pamela was nervous, Noah said. She had an important meeting the next day. She was practicing what she was going to say in the bedroom mirror. When the fire started, Pamela first thought it was a false alarm. She heard the noise but didn't leave the room right away. When she opened the door, there was a lot of smoke in the hallway. Then she became very scared. "Noah, do you remember how Pamela felt when she realized she was going to die?" Elena asked through tears. "She thought of her mother and sister," he said softly. She wanted to say goodbye, but there wasn't time. Before jumping, Pamela closed her eyes and thought of a song her mother used to sing when she was little. Noah hummed a sweet, melancholy melody neither parent recognized. Her mother sang it when Pamela was sad. It was their favorite song. What did Pamela think before she jumped? Elena asked, barely able to speak. Noah looked up with an expression far older than his years. She thought, "Mom, forgive me. I'll see you again someday." And then she jumped. After Pamela jumped, Marcus asked gently, "Did it hurt?" "For just a minute," Noah said. Then she couldn't feel anything. She saw her body down there, but she wasn't inside anymore. She was floating above. "Did Pamela see other people who died in the fire?" Elena asked. "Yes. They were all floating together. Some were confused and didn't know they had died." Pamela tried to help them understand. Was Pamela trapped in the hotel after she died? No. She went to a beautiful place with lots of light. There were people there she knew who had died before her. They helped her understand what had happened. "How did Pamela end up in you, Noah?" Elena finally asked. "Pamela chose our family," he said. "She saw you would be good, loving parents. She wanted to come back to learn new things. Is Pamela still inside you now?" Marcus asked. "Sometimes when I remember her, it's like she's here with me. But I'm Noah now. Pamela let me be Noah, but she didn't completely leave. I remember everything because Pamela wanted someone to know she existed. She didn't want to be forgotten, so she left her memories with me." "Noah, will you always remember Pamela?" Elena asked. "No. As I grow older, the memories will fade," he answered. "Pamela said that's how it works. When I'm as big as you, I might not remember anymore." "Why did Pamela choose you specifically?" Marcus asked. "Because my soul was young," Noah said. "Pamela needed someone who didn't have many memories of their own yet, so she could share hers for a little while." "Are there other children like you?" Elena asked. "There are many children who remember being different people," Noah replied, "but not all grown-ups believe them. You believed me, so I can talk about Pamela." Noah began to speak about complex spiritual concepts with surprising ease. When people die, sometimes they come back in new bodies to learn different things. Pamela had things she hadn't learned yet when she died in the fire. "What kind of things?" Marcus asked. "She really wanted to be a mother but died before," Noah said. "Now, being Noah, she'll be able to be your child and learn what family love is like." Elena wept openly. "Is Pamela happy being you?" Noah smiled his first genuine smile of the conversation. "Yes, she loves you both very much. She says you're the parent she always wanted to have as an adult, and she enjoys being a child again." Noah picked up the tablet and looked again at Pamela's photo. "Pamela asked me to tell you something," he said. "She wants you to know she wasn't afraid when it came to dying, because she knew she would come back." "Did she know she was going to be reincarnated?" Marcus asked. "She didn't know it would be me specifically," Noah replied, "but she knew her soul would carry on. That's why, even though she was afraid of the fire, she didn't panic when it was time to jump." "Pamela wants you to tell her story to others," Noah added, "so they know that death isn't the end of everything, and so they believe the children who talk about their past lives." "How many people will believe a story like that?" Elena murmured. "It doesn't matter how many believe it," Noah said with solemn certainty. "What matters is that you know it's true." 5 years passed after Noah's first revelations about Pamela Robinson. At 7, he still remembered some details, but the memories were fading just as he had predicted. "Sometimes I dream about her," he said, "but now I'm more Noah and less Pamela." Elena and Marcus meticulously documented everything. They discovered that Pamela Robinson actually had a younger sister named Linda and a mother named Dorothy, details they later confirmed and that Noah could not have known. The case drew the attention of reincarnation researchers worldwide. Dr. Jim Tucker of the University of Virginia, who has studied past life memories in children for decades, examined Noah's case about Pamela. "It is one of the best documented cases I have ever analyzed," he stated. "The specificity of the verifiable details is extraordinary." The family decided to share the story publicly on the TV show Ghost Inside My Child in 2014, where Noah, then 5, could still remember and articulate many details about Pamela Robinson. The episode moved millions of viewers around the world. Noah, now a normal child who loves video games and soccer, still occasionally displays remarkable emotional maturity. I think people who die can come back if they want, he says matter-of-factly. Death isn't as scary as people think. The Noah Reynolds case has become one of the most discussed examples of child past life memories, with verifiable evidence that challenges conventional explanations. For Elena and Marcus, the experience completely changed their understanding of life, death, and spirituality. Our son taught us that we are much more than just this physical body, Elena reflects. Pamela Robinson achieved her wish to be remembered and to experience the love of a family. And the Reynolds family gained a profound understanding of the continuity of the soul. Do you believe in reincarnation? Have you ever experienced something similar with a child? Leave a comment here on the Paths of the Soul channel and share your experience. Feel free to tell your story. This is a safe space where all experiences are respected. Important reminder, always be respectful in the comments. Stories involving spirituality deserve to be treated seriously and with consideration for all beliefs. If you've made it this far, leave a like in the comments.